Hello all, let's go through a game of round 10 in the FIDE World Rapid Team Championship 2025. This is a game between Grandmaster Pranav, who is the current World Youth Champion, that is in the under 20 age category, and Grandmaster Andrei Volokitin, who is a two-time Ukrainian national champion. Grandmaster Pranav is representing Team MGD1, whereas Grandmaster Andrei Volokitin represents Ashdod Elite Chess Club. Now the game began with e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to f6, knight to c3, knight to c6, bishop to b5. So the Petrov defense has been played here. Knight to d4, white short castles, c6. The bishop goes back to d3, knight into knight, queen into knight, bishop to c5. Now this position has been reached earlier as well in the master games, and from here there are two continuations that were done for white. One was bishop to c4 and the other is queen to g3. But Pranav does not go with any of these moves, and he goes with a new move, bishop to e2. And this is in move number 8 that we have a completely new position. So here black responds with d6, Pranav plays d3, and black attacks the queen. Queen to g3, and now there is a threat of bishop takes bishop. So black plays h5, providing more support for the bishop. And here for a moment, I just want you to think a bit. If white plays, let's say, bishop to e3, what's the move that black should play? Okay, if you haven't thought about it, or if you have thought about it as well, let's check the move that is h5, trapping the queen. The queen has no place to move. So either you take the bishop, take the pawn, or stay muted, and the queen will be sacrificed. So Pranav plays bishop to g5, preventing the h4 idea. And black plays queen d7, h3, trying to chase away the bishop, bishop into bishop, knight into bishop, and black long castles. Now queen to f3, putting more pressure on the knight, rook to g8. Now the Indians don't actually like this. The Indian prefers h4 move by black, but however, white continues with bishop into knight, pawn into bishop. Now be careful here. If white captures the pawn, what's the move that black would play? Right, queen into h3. The g pawn is pinned, so the h3 pawn is free and there is a checkmate threat looming. So After queen into f6, Pranav plays knight to g3 instead of capturing the pawn, and so there are no queen into h3 ideas if the pawn is captured on f6. So black plays h4, trying to move away the knight. Knight finds a safer square in f5, blocking the queen's attack. The king moves to b8, king to h2. The idea is to move and then exchange up. So black moves to b6, g3, h into g3, f into g3, and black attacks in the center with d5. Now in this position, the piece that is not much active in the white's camp is the rook on a1. So Pranav moves his rook to e1 square, strengthening the center further. And now black takes on e4, queen into e4. The queen comes to e6, black queen, and it's now attacking the a2 pawn. So Pranav plays b3, blocking the attack. The queen goes back to d7, rook to e2, king to a8. Pranav tries to advance his pawns a bit on the king side. h4 played, a6 played, and now king to g2, king to a7, queen to f3, king to e8. It looks black is waiting for the white to make some progress, and is only playing some waiting moves here. Rook to e4, the bishop goes back to a7. But now Pranav slowly starts developing on his queen's side. The pawns on the queen side. a4 played, queen to e6, rook to g4, trying to exchange the rook and take control of the g file. And now queen to d5. So here Pranav tries to exchange the queen, but black refuses and moves the queen to c5, attacking the c2 pawn. Black basically wants to enter this white's territory and is trying all attempts. Queen to c4, but Pranav trying to exchange the queens once again. But black refuses and goes to a5, trying to move to the d2 square. c3 played, which is blocking the queen's attack and also making progress on the queen side. Queen to c7, b4, queen to d7, and again he comes back to queen to e4, queen to e6, and even now he blocks it with c4 pawn. Watch how black is trying to make some entry on the white's territory, but white is blocking all of those attempts. Rook to d8. Now as soon as the rook moves, Pranav finds a next good move, h5. He now progresses his pawns on the king side. Queen to e8, h6, and now queen to g8. And here Pranav moves his knight to g7. blocking the queen. Queen goes back to f8, attacking the b4 pawn, so c5. Now, even the bishop has limited squares as well as the queen. So this is a very powerful move, c5, giving good edge for white. And already the white's position is very much winning, and queen to e7 played here. Now a5 played, stopping any threat of b6. Rook to h8, attacking the pawn on h6. Rook to h1, supporting it. Bishop to b8. Now he slowly starts moving his g-pawn. f5 played, queen into f5, e4, queen into e4, queen to g5, knight to f5, supporting the pawn. The queen enters the white's territory with d2. King to f3, rook to d8, threatening to take on d3, d4 played, queen to c3, queen to e3, queen captures the pawn on b4, rook to e1, queen further captures the pawn on a5, queen to e7, queen, rook to c8, knight to d6, threatening to capture the rook, rook moves to c7, queen to e3, rook d7. So here Pranav moves his pawn to h7, rook to d8 to prevent the pawn from queening, knight to e8, rook into d4, queen into d4, queen into e1, and here he finally promotes his pawn to the queen, king f1, sorry, queen f1, king e3, queen e1, king d3, queen d1, check, king c3, queen a1, king b3. The game is already lost for black, but still some moves being played here to see if there is any repetition. But this can well be defended by white. White plays queen b2, queen d3, king a2, queen c4, and queen b3. So there are no further checks. Black can go to queen e2, in which case white can move his queen to b2, and in the next step there is a checkmate here. So black resigns the game, and this is a nice victory for Pranav, helping his team MGD1 in their goal to win this rapid championship. That's all for now. Let's meet again for another game. Thank you.